Boy, uh, be relieved of pain, I guess. Pain is predominantly all over my body. The worst it hurts is in my feet and in my legs, tingling and some pain in my palms and my fingertips. For instance, there's tingling in my palms and on my fingertips. I have some pain here that tingles on the back of the shoulders, pain here on the calves, lower legs, and on the bottom of my feet and on the bottom of my toes. That's the predominant pain. I was finally diagnosed with fibromyalgia at Mayo Clinic. I believe that was 2014, so it's been a couple of years. Yeah, a few years ago, I was experiencing a lot of loss in weight. I had some unexplainable bruising in my elbows and in my kneecaps around that area. Went to a rheumatologist. She did some testing. At that time, she didn't come up with any diagnosis. At the same time, I took my own initiative and got a hold of a team of neurologists in Kansas City, Missouri. They ran extensive tests from, just measuring the nerve paths all over my body. Even took a biopsy of a muscle in my leg to determine if there was any muscle disease. All they did, they started to say, you do not have this disease, you don't have MS, you don't have MDA, you just have any major or minor diseases that we can identify. So finally, one of my doctor friends suggested, well, your next step is probably Mayo Clinic. And so that involved gathering all the material, all that doctors had seen, their test results, had to forward that, x-rays, even got hold of the muscle sample they did. Sent that all up to Mayo Clinic in Rochester. They evaluated, looked it over, and then they had me come up. Basically, they reran some of the same tests, not all of them. And it was a busy 2 or 3 days up there, just one appointment after another. Then finally, at the end of the day, the last day, I saw the neurologist that I initially saw up there in Mayo Clinic. And she said, okay, what you have are signs of fibromyalgia. I've always had colon problems and things like that. So finally diagnosed me with
irritable bowel syndrome. That's one of them.
Thank you. Irritable bowel syndrome is one of it. So that seems to fit another little symptom that I have, trying to find an explanation for it. There was a neurologist that I saw. So she took all the information from the neurologist I saw in Kansas City, Kansas, and also information I saw from the rheumatologist in St. Joseph, Missouri. And she was kind of the lead doctor up at Mayo Clinic. They have all these doctors, and they have one that is in charge of your case. And she reviewed all that stuff for my doctors here in Kansas, Missouri, and then all the tests they did up at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, and then came up with the diagnosis: you have fibromyalgia. Let's say at least probably around up to 10, I'd say. 10 plus maybe. The jaw drives me crazy. About a couple years ago too, the jaw would sometimes just lock in place on the left side. So and usually what would happen, it would lock up on the side. It could open up a little bit, maybe just one finger width, have some limitation on moving it to the left, a little more freedom on the right. And then I would go to my dentist in Atchison, and basically he said just kind of wait it out. And usually what happened, maybe in a day or two, sometimes within a few hours, it would pop back open. I could never really kind of figure out how it would just seem like it opened up on its own. But the last few months, about 2 or 3 months, it has been, I've limited. I can only open up about 2 fingers, and it has not been able to open up. So yeah, it doesn't hurt too much. Occasionally it will be sensitive around the back of the ear. But right now it's more of very much of an annoyance because it limits how I eat. Anything that needs a lot of chewing, so I love meat, so if I eat steak or eat chicken or pork or whatever, I'm going to cut it up in smaller bits than usual. One, because limited opening my mouth, and two, it just makes it easier to chew. It seems like salads are tough to eat because that involves a lot of tearing of lettuce and things like that. You know, there's some fatigue I've noticed, especially with meat that, you know, I'm not going to be able to eat a big steak because then this gets fatigued up here. Then it starts to hurt a little bit, causing facial pain. More on this side, yeah.
Okay.
It does, you know, kind of radiates up to here at times. I'm on Lyrica at, now I can't remember how it's 325 twice a day, milligrams twice a day. And the Cymbaltol, I can't remember the diet, how much I take a day, but I take that once a day.
Okay.
I would say with the medication, probably around a 4 on a scale of 1 to 10, 0 being the lowest and 10 being the highest.
Right.
Without medication, it's well over 5, 6, 7, 8. So it kind of dampens it. It still has some pain. The downside is with chronic pain, you always have chronic fatigue. And the medication just exacerbates the fatigue. So I always kind of feel tired. Sometimes, you know, the word brain fog is something I experience. I would say probably around a 3. You know, after kind of medication will kick in, and so about the first couple hours after taking the medication, I'm going to feel extremely drowsy. I would say a 1 to a 2. So whether I chew, I mean, if I chew, something happens, it can spike up. I'd say up to a 7 or something. Yeah, depends on what I eat. It can just surprise me. When I'm chewing on something, all of a sudden just be a really sharp pain momentarily, and it kind of flashes, kind of like lightning. The joint here, then it might radiate. It's a sharp pain like lightning. It might kind of spread out here around the upper head. As a priest, I speak a lot, and also, you know, when I'm performing mass, you know, being able to consume the host and drink blood, the wine, that can be, when at its worst, it's prevented me a couple times. Right now, where I'm at, with the jaw locked up, it hasn't really prevented me from performing as a priest. Gosh, I've been wearing a mouthpiece, you know, probably, going on since 1993, I think. Well, I was living in Wichita at the time, and I was experiencing jaw pain back then, and my dentist figured out that I was grinding my teeth a lot. I was going under a lot of stress. My mother had passed away recently, and that kicked off a lot of stress as well. Back then in Wichita, they didn't have, you know, the facilities or the doctor, so he suggested I go to UMKC, and went through. I talked to a few specialists up there, and they made me a mouthpiece, so I wore that, you know, every night. I would say it's settled down. Maybe recently it has got worse.
Okay.
But why it's flared up in the recent years, I don't know, unless it's tied into this diagnosis of fibromyalgia. Neck pain. Okay, so right here on the shoulders, the neck, down here.
Okay.
It's always tight. You know, I'm constantly going like this to make that pop, and so yeah, that's pretty tight. Stress it, I can really feel around my neck, shoulders area, and then it's, you know, here too. I can feel it as well. But yeah, I'd say at its worst, it's going to be 4 to 5.
Lower back at the
Lower back, yeah. I know my posture is not great. I know I got a little slight curvature, so there's that problem. So yeah, that's been going on too for years. It seems like I don't remember a time I have not had some type of ache. So it's always there. So, you know, I'm constantly trying. If I'm aware of how I'm standing, I'm thinking, okay, head up, you know, this way, shoulders back. Am I walking correctly? And, you know, if I'm not thinking constantly about that, I know my body's going to go to a position where it's just going to aggravate the pain or aggravate the whole head, neck, shoulders, back. Okay, gosh, around late 2015, I ended up going to Mayo Clinic, going through a lot of trying to figure out why do I have pain throughout my body. They did some testing, reviewed some testing that I had undergone through in Kansas City area, and they concluded by elimination process that I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And basically they said, we can't do anything for you, we can just treat the symptoms basically that was their solution, and which wasn't good enough for me. Probably about a 50% improvement in body pain. Where maybe over in late 2015, it was very difficult even for me to stand on my feet for a while. Now I'm able to do a lot of functioning on my feet. I don't feel, within the last month or so, I've been able to decrease the Lyrica that I take every day. When originally I had this problem crop up, it was hard for me to stand and give out communion at Mass. I often have to let other people do it for me after when it was time. Now I'm able to do that with very little pain, very little discomfort. Sitting sometimes was a problem. Sometimes I might be in a confessional that doesn't have the most comfortable seat. That doesn't seem to be as much as a problem. I'd say probably about 50%. Again, that just kind of recent development with the jaw not opening as much as it should, and also being some pain when I was chewing. But through the month or so that I'm working with you, been able to open up the jaw a little bit more. Still working on that. A lot of the pain has decreased from that. The head and neck, working with you, working with physical therapy, probably about 50% improvement. Yeah, again, I think part of that has been with not only working with you and also the proper alignment of the jaw, but working with physical therapy, proper posture, where should my head be at proper times, and making shoulders are back. Everything just seems to be clicking well, which reduces a lot of the pain. So, yeah, that's always been a problem. Again, I think part of it has been, never really worked on the proper way of standing. Had some physical therapy, but it doesn't seem to be never been a holistic way of approaching this. So it seems, I'd say probably about 50% improvement on back pain as well. So overall, in a month and a half or so, feel good. There's always another way, I think, to treat the problem, and I just wasn't satisfied with what they said. Well, we can't really help you, we'll medicate you, but there's so much you can do now online to research, find people out there like you to be able to say, no, you know what, there's a way maybe to hit the underlying problem. So I'm grateful. So. First of all, I didn't even consider it because I knew from there probably was a connection between TMJ and fibromyalgia, because Mayo Clinic says if you got fibromyalgia, you probably will have TMJ problems, but they did not say you can fix the fibromyalgia by trying to just go over here. So it's I thank goodness in a way my symptoms got worse on my jaw, which helped me come to you. And so it increased jaw pain and locked up a little bit, and then I sought an answer and came up with you. So overall, doing quite well, quite a big improvement from when I first started. I feel like there's like 70% improvement on pain, especially in my feet and in my lower legs. It used to be quite hard for me to stand still as a priest, trying to give out the body of Christ during Mass. Sometimes I would just have to sit down and let someone else do my role. Now I don't have that problem anymore. Still some pain, but it doesn't impede me from doing what I want to do. It was around 80% better, so that feels better. It's not open as much as like I want it to yet. I can chew better. I occasionally have a sharp pain on this side, but it's getting better, I think, with the working on the jaw, the alignment. 90% improvement on that. That seems, working with you, seems like I have more range of motion on my neck. I don't feel pain like I used to. Actually, I think we're probably about a 90% improvement on that as well. Again, it seems I'm always conscious of, working on the core, making sure when I'm standing or sitting or driving, I'm always thinking, get that core going. It's not quite second nature to me yet. But yeah, it doesn't hurt like it seemed like to. I'd say probably about 50% improvement on that. So yeah, I still suffer from it, but I think it's probably about 60% improvement on
That's
my
huge.
weight state. So,
Okay.
I think probably about 50% improvement.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You know what? I got to try something. And then when I explain it to people, I'll say, it really kind of starts with their jaw because it's all sort of alignment. It affects this, it can affect your whole body. Some people go, okay, that sort of makes sense. But it's like when I say that to them, the expression on their face was, oh, why didn't I ever think about that?